Welcome to this week's edition of Assumed News, your favorite news program straight from down under. I'm your host, Koala, your friendly news reporter and expert on Australian Indigenous lore. Alongside me, we have Wendy San for the weather updates and Suzie Tacobell to cover all the sports action. So, let's get started and assume some news together. Alright, viewers, seems like the world's got its eyes on the Olympics, but not for the reasons you'd expect. The headline reads, "Dark stain tarnishes the Olympic spirit." Now, I'm no Olympic athlete, but even I can tell that something's amiss. It's like finding a burned s'more in your picnic basket, not quite the treat you were hoping for. Tourist haven set ablaze. Seen as tourist town is torched, it appears that a beloved tourist town has been tragically torched, leaving behind a scene of chaos and destruction. The once bustling town, now reduced to ashes, has left locals and tourists in disbelief. Details are still emerging about what led to this catastrophic event, but one thing is certain: the aftermath is heartbreaking. Despite the devastation, we can only hope that the community will come together to rebuild and restore this cherished destination. Wow, this next story is a real head-scratcher too. A young chap, only 22, made a date request that has stirred up quite the debate. The title goes, "Poor bloke, but is he really?" This youngster's move has split the crowd right down the middle. I'm curious to know what he asked that caused such a ruckus. Was it too forward? Too old-fashioned? Or just plain unusual? Stay tuned to find out. The latest news from Paris is causing quite a stir, and let me tell you, it's not a pleasant one for our Aussie mates. They're saying there's been a Paris fail that's bound to leave a bad taste. It's as if someone served you a plate of escargot when you were expecting a classic meat pie. This fiasco might just be the talk of the town, but here's hoping for a swift resolution. Alright, viewers, here's a tale that'll make you scratch your head. Seems like a fella decided to pull off a real showstopper during his date. The headline reads, "What? Man's jaw-dropping mid-date spectacle." Now, I'm no love guru, but I reckon this wasn't your typical romantic gesture. This bloke must have thought he was in a circus rather than a candlelit restaurant. I won't spoil the surprise, but let's just say it involved more than just ordering dessert. New beer tax packs a punch for breweries. The introduction of a new beer tax has left many breweries feeling the pinch, with the situation being described as crippling. The increased tax burden is expected to have a significant impact on the beer industry, making it tougher for businesses to keep their heads above water. Some are worried that this could lead to higher prices for consumers or even job losses. Despite the grim outlook, there's still hope that breweries might find a way to adapt and weather this stormy period. Alright, listen up, mates. I've got a story for you. Archaeologists have made a ripper of a discovery in the tomb of an ancient Egyptian pharaoh. They've found all sorts of treasures, including golden pizza cutters and solid gold toilet seats. Can you imagine the old pharaoh sitting on his throne, eating pizza and doing his business in style? But let me tell you something. These archaeologists, they're not just digging up old stuff, they're also learning about the past and preserving history. So, that's something to be proud of. In a surprising twist, musician Grimes has decided to step into the ongoing dispute between Elon Musk and his daughter. The headline reads, "Grimes wades into Musk family feud." It seems that Grimes, who is known to have a relationship with Elon Musk, has taken an interest in the recent disagreement involving his daughter. Details of her involvement are still unfolding, but it's not every day that a celebrity gets caught up in a family squabble like this. It's definitely a development worth keeping an eye on. Two mates build a mega empire down under. Imagine this: two blokes from Australia decided to team up, and before they knew it, they had built a business worth a whopping $455 million. Sounds like a plot straight out of a movie, right? But it's true. These horses started from humble beginnings, and through hard work, determination, and probably a bit of luck, they managed to create an empire that most can only dream of. It's stories like these that make you wonder, what's their secret sauce? And can I get some of that? It looks like those troublesome airbags are back in the spotlight. New recall has been issued, suggesting that these so-called killer airbags haven't learned their lesson yet. It's a puzzling situation. You'd think after the first fiasco, they'd have been sent packing for good. But alas, here we are again, dealing with the fallout. Let's hope this recall is the final chapter in this dangerous saga. Good day, mates. I've got a yarn for you. You won't believe what happened in the wee hours this morning. Fella was bananaed by the Rozzers after a horror banana attack. That's right, a bloke got caught red-handed with a bunch of bananas. What's the world coming to, eh? But don't you worry, the coppers were on the scene in no time and put a stop to that nonsense. So here's the bright side. No more rotten bananas on the streets. Ah, that feels good. Now, where's me tea? Oh boy, there's a shake-up coming in the rental world that might just ruffle some feathers. They're calling it a rent change, but it sounds more like a curveball to me. This update is supposed to put a stop to any shady business from certain landlords. You know, those who've been enjoying the high life while their tenants struggle. It's almost like finding out that your favorite ice cream flavor now comes with less sugar, a bit surprising. But maybe it's for the better. After Cindy's insightful sports update, let's bring back our regular sports expert, Suzie Tacobell, who's been patiently waiting to share her scoop on the sporting world. Suzie, the floor is yours.
Let's start with the biggest wins and scores of the week. In the men's division, David Joker defeated John Doe in a thrilling match, clocking in an impressive score of 100-75. Over in the women's division, Jane Smith dominated her opponent Sarah Johnson with a final score of 80-50. Of course. Now, let's move on to some up-and-coming talent. We've got our eye on young player Tom Johnson, who recently won the Junior National Championship. With a promising future ahead, we can't wait to see what he accomplishes next. And finally, let's take a moment to recognize some of the dedicated coaches and trainers who make these victories possible. Coach Emily Smith has been instrumental in developing the skills of many top players. Her dedication and expertise have not gone unnoticed, and we're honored to have her as part of the billiards community in Australia.
Now, let's see what kind of weather is brewing outside with our wonderful weatherwoman, Wendy San. Wendy, please enlighten us with your forecast.
おはようございます。アメリカ。全国の天気を簡単に見てみましょう。ニューヨークからは晴れ、最高気温は30度、最低気温は24度です。西海岸に移ると、ロサンゼルスは晴天に恵まれ、気温は15度 C から最高29度 C までとなっています。ウィンディシティ、シカゴでは、空は晴れており、気温は21度 C から最高30度 C までの範囲です。テキサス州ヒューストンの南部はほぼ晴れ、最高気温は34度、最低気温は26度です。晴天に恵まれたアリゾナ州フェニックスは、曇り空で最高気温は42度、最低気温は32度です。そして最後に、兄弟愛の町、フィラデルフィアでは、ほぼ晴れており、気温は23度 C から最高29度 C までとなっています。それは今のところすべてです。一日を通してさらなる最新情報をお届けしますのでお楽しみに。